Today's session is going to be a very interesting one as we have two young dynamic investors who are passionate about investing and also founders of Screener.in. For members who are not aware about Screener, Screener is one of the most popular research platform in India with 6 lakh registered users and ranked as 350th most useful website in India. Let me introduce our speakers for today, Mr. Pratyush Mittal and Mr. Ayush Mittal. A brief background about Pratyush and Ayush. Pratyush is a co-founder of Screener. He is a qualified chartered accountant and a coder by hobby. He loves to create tools for investors. Started Screener in 2009 to help his dad keep track of a new quarterly results. Over the years, the data and features have kept growing, and this has helped investors in keeping track of the new results and find new companies. Mr. Ayush is a CA by qualification and an investor by passion. He focuses on the mid and small cap listed space. He loves to deep dive on some of these companies which are in early growth phase and do groundwork to understand the reasons for success, uniqueness of those companies, and participate in these growth stories. Ayush started his investing journey around 2000 during school time, which assisting his dad, and soon plunged full time into it. Started writing on dalalstreet.in. He's also co-founder of Screener, which has become one of the most popular research platforms in India. He's also partner at valuepicker.com, which has emerged as a wonderful community for collaborative research and is popular among the investors. Ayush started a PMS service in 2019, focused on mid and small cap space, and is the fund manager. He also manages his family funds and overall manages asset under management of 100 crore plus. Without further delay, I would like to welcome Pratyush and Ayush to enlighten us with today's subject topic. And please note, we will have a Q&A session after the speaker's presentation. And if you have any specific questions, please feel free to type in the chat box. The floor is open for you. Pratyush and Ayush, welcome to YISIG Group.
Thanks, guys, for this wonderful opportunity for us to interact with all the YI members. Being a YI member myself, I have huge respect for this platform. The best part is that the group members are young entrepreneurs, early entrepreneurs doing well in their specific areas, doing new things. So I believe that investing is a field which is an ocean and something really wonderful in its own sense. And as if you can implement what you're learning in your business into investing and what you learn in investing into your business, you can do very, very well in both of the areas. So that is what we have benefited and learned in our areas, and we would like to share some of the thoughts. Anything? Yeah.
Should we share these?
Yeah, so should we have just prepared a very, very brief presentation. We'll just start with that. And later on, as we like to keep it more interactive and look forward to that interaction after the brief presentation.
Yeah.
Sure. So we will share our screen. Is the screen visible?
Yeah, it is.
Great, great. And we are audible? Our voice is clear?
We are audible. Good to go.
Great, great, great. Sure. So we'll just go through a brief basics about small and mid cap, and what is really great is that investing has been life changing for all of us, for me, for Bhaiya, for our family, and like this is the only thing we know, and we don't think like we would like like there's any other thing which is like investing.
What I would say is that first thing that we need to understand is like this is the business of businesses. Like आपको इतने ढेर सारे options यहाँ पे listed मिल रहे हैं. There are over 4,000-5,000 listed companies out there. And as an entrepreneur, once you're doing some specific business, you will remain in that area for several years and decades to come. While in investing, you have a huge flexibility that you can change lanes, partner with people who are doing something really nice, interesting, and have an excellent team at their end. And this all kind of capabilities, growth is not possible for every individual. So how we like to think or how we have benefited is that we have been able to partner with some excellent opportunities from time to time, companies which just like over 5 or 10 year period, many often it can be life changing. For example, if you think of COVID today, what has happened? There are so many businesses which might have been doing superbly well, retail stores, apparels, garments, so many things which are down under, and they are finding it very tough to keep going. They have to incur big losses and all those things. While at the other end, this has been a game changer for IT companies which were platform, which were digital, pharma companies, or if you think India, this anti-China shift happening. So many companies which are into export, which have been doing well, are getting a fillip now. So if you're an observant person, if you're just observing trends around you, and these are very powerful trends that keep happening every few years, and if you can catch those trends with the objective of partnering good companies, partnering good businesses out there, it is highly rewarding in our experience. And we have seen around us, like, there are clients who are doctors, superb doctors, professionals, best in their area, and they have earned much more. They have created much higher wealth today by investing, just by observing companies very early. They observed Cipla, Lupin, Sun Pharma doing very well very early. They understood the transition happening in Ajanta Pharma, or a few years back we could invest into something like Astral Polytechnic. So you guys must be aware of Astral Polytechnic, which has become one of the leading plumbing company. While in 2011-12, when we used to work on this idea, it was hardly a 300 crore turnover company with 300-400 crore market cap. It became 20-30 times. The stock price increased 20-30 times in next 7-8 years. So, but as an entrepreneur, you guys are the best people who can catch these trends. मतलब because you are in business, तो आपको समझ में आता है कि यार ये हमारे अराउंड ये नई टेक्नोलॉजी आई. Like Astral में क्या हुआ, जब CPVC आया, the whole plumbing market changed, and there were only 2 or 3 companies which were benefiting out of it. It's not that you will be able to catch all of them or have all of them in your portfolio. So portfolio अगर 10 stocks का है, so only 1 or 2 can be big winners, and 2-3 will be okay, and few will die or do very poorly. But on a portfolio level, if you can compound your money at 15, 20, 25% CAGR, it's a big compounding that happens over 15-20 year period. And with time, you keep getting better at it.
Yeah, and like I think anyone can do it. In our friends, we see they are IT professionals, and they just spend 2-3 hours a week, and like once you start with 2-3 hours a week, and suddenly you start getting knack of it, and you try to spend more time with it. But it is very less stressful than any other thing. कि आज हम compare करते हैं, and running a factory, doing anything else requires so much more efforts. Here we get up at our own time, we can leave office at our own time, and by just putting in little efforts, we can partner in businesses without going through all those headache of running a business. And that's why we believe that investing is life changing. It is an ocean, and it provides whatever we are looking for.
And this is one of the rare areas where you get to build your knowledge. Once you're working on these areas, like Pratish mentioned, like we have several friends who have been in IT companies doing pretty well, but they could sneak out time from their daily jobs and work upon books, work upon companies which are interesting, and they've done fabulous work. And all of those works are out there on several platforms, forums. Today, there's so much of information out there. Today, all the companies are so compliant. They have to publish detailed results, balance sheet. So you have to just, and all these learning helps you increase knowledge. Like you get to understand what trends are there, how an entrepreneur has done well in his area, and you can apply those learnings in your business also. So it's a multiplier effect in several ways that we see.
Yeah. And just the mental way of thinking about is that we are partnering a business, and we are not looking at the price charts or those things. So that's a big that's the difference how we approach stocks. We are investing in companies because we want to be partner in them for a very long. time.
You need to have that small mindset change. Like most of the people, when they will come to market, they will think about return. So the objective shouldn't be return to start with. The objective has to be to try to understand what this company is doing, why it has been successful till now, and perhaps what they can do in coming years. So if this kind of mindset is applied, I'm sure it can be very rewarding.
Uh, like when we started off investing, our dad used to he used to tell me only these three ratios. कि इन तीन ratios को सबसे पहले समझने की कोशिश करो. Just be aware of what these three ratios are. And the most important ratio to start with was price to earning. So the one thing he told me was that the total market's average price to earning is 18 times. It means that if a company is earning 1 rupees, then its stock is trading 18 times its earnings. So that the price related to earnings is 18 times the ratio. And that is of the whole market. And what he said that I'm looking for companies which are available at half that average of the market. And he wanted companies that which are trading at 10 times its earnings and not 18 times its earning. So more the P multiple, more is the premium that we are paying for a company. And that is just how he taught us into investing, that every Tuesday or Thursday, Economic Times newspaper was there in which it listed P of all the companies. And he asked us to just filter out companies where this P number is less than 10.
And the other two most important ratios are like, along with this, you have to focus on the growth part. So if the India's GDP is growing at say 6-7%, so it's a thumb rule that the listed companies, the corporate sector will grow at double that rate. So average growth is considered to be 10-12% and this is the average. So there will be companies which are growing at maybe 15 to 20% or more than that, and there will be companies which will be growing lesser. So like Victor said, that you have to look at half the valuations, but to do better than the market, to find good companies, big winners, we want higher growth. So we want lower valuation, but companies which are growing at maybe 15, 20, 25% in past, or we can understand that, okay, they have a decent track record, but they are doing something by which they can grow faster. So मतलब हमें extra power चाहिए into our investing, कि ज़्यादा safety भी चाहिए and ज़्यादा growth भी चाहिए. And the third most important ratio is perhaps the ROC. ROC is basically return on capital employed by the business. So basically this is a quick calculation that what is the company earning at EBITDA level upon equity plus debt. So whatever the capital employed, it doesn't matter it is equity or debt, is the business able to generate more than 15% kind of ROC? That is a very important test one should look into, because there are several businesses, what happened, they are growing, they look cheap, but they are value traps. Because today, if you want, you can borrow lots of money and grow the business, but if it is not earning enough, then you will fall into a debt trap sooner or later. And this is where people lose a lot of money or mistakes happen. So over a long period, we need to check for companies which are earning at least 15-17%. And the higher the ROC, if you can find companies with 20-25% ROC and they're able to grow their business, that is where the real value creation will happen over a longer period of time. And such companies will get re-rated on the P multiple also. That is where real value creation multi-baggers will happen.
So, yeah, so like most often people ask us how we go about valuation or how we think about margin of safety or various things. It is really very simple model. We just like, this is how we start, and our margin of safety comes from paying half of what the average of market is. So half, like the average market P is 18 times. We try to look out for companies available at 10 times earning or lesser. Growth, as Bhaiya said, that average growth of corporate sector is somewhere around 10 to 15%. We look out for companies growing at more than 18-20%. ROC, like average ROC for any business will be somewhere around 15%. Interestingly, in stock market, we see lots of companies, some really exceptionally companies which have ROCs of 30-40%, and like these are real wealth creators over a long time if they are able to sustain such ROCs. So yeah.
And what we have practiced is that what we have seen in market is that usually people are focused on common top big names. They feel that those are the companies which provide you safety net, and maybe smaller companies are wrong or something. So we feel that the smaller companies are under researched because people don't want to take risks. So that is where we focus on these parameters and try to find and deep dive into companies with such kind of numbers. So we'll quickly show you how we go around it and how we find ideas. So it is helpful. If you guys have laptop or mobile, you can do it along. So it will be a learning exercise for everyone.
Okay, so
you come to screener.in.
So this is screener.in. This is the website that we, like, as I told that Dad asked us to filter out companies based on P, and that is where we created a screener that, okay, most of the data is available digital now, and we should be able to run such queries on the fly. And that is where we created a screener. I will log in using my email ID. It's a free website, like it's totally free for 99% of the use cases. So we can create a free account, and then it allows us to create screens. So there's this option of screens, and we can run a new stock screen. So as we said that we look out for companies which are trading at lesser price to earning. So we can easily type in a query, price to earning is less than 12. And it will show all such companies where the price to earning.
Almost 900 companies are there out of almost 4,000 companies which are trading at less than price to earning of less than 12.
We can.
But then we want more. We want more power to our ideas. So we'll put in more parameters.
So we can type in and return on capital employed. So 1 off years, the return on capital employed can be very good. Maintaining the good return on capital for a longer period is more hard. So let's try it for 3 years is more than, let's try out 17%. And growth. So sales growth again for, let's say, 3 years is more than 15%.
So this query has got reduced to 86 odd names. So there are 86 companies out there in India where the growth has been higher than 15% in last 3 years. They do earn good ROCs of more than 17%, yet the price earning ratio is less than 12. And screening is never a blanket thing. You should never just go and buy these stocks or something. You have to, this is a way to come across, like, making your list shorter.
Yeah, like there are 4,000 names, and like Warren Buffett was asked how should one go about investing, and he said that one needs to read all the companies. Someone said that how can one do it, and he said start with A's. So like reading 3,000, 4,000 companies is really hard. One of the ways to get started with that 4,000 companies is to select minimize it to 100 names, and this is what screening helped us do. It created a smaller sample, which is much better to begin with. And in this 86 names also, we just need 2 or 3 good names. That is all we need to change our lives to have magnificent returns. If we get 1 or 2 good winners a year, it is like more than anything. One doesn't need much more than that. Finding those 2 or 3 names is little harder from here. So, like, for example, this is what we got. We can sort on any of the ratios. So currently it is sorted on return on capital employed. We can sort it on dividend yield. Usually, sometimes there will be names with very high ratios. We will cover that. That's sometimes very good at, like, numbers which look very good are too good to be true. And there are some other kinds of traps. So we will talk about them as well. For now, let's start with a couple of companies on how we will just give a quick overview how we go through a company, how to proceed after we get this list. Anytime we can add more columns, we can customize this page the way we want.
Yeah, so there are several functionalities that we have given, and in fact on Screener the biggest thing is that you can create whatever mathematical query you want. You can modify and add more parameters if you want. So once we get this list, what usually I like to do is that I like to look upon some of the names on a quick look basis. So let's take up Gujarat Themis. Yeah, let's open and Yeah. So usually, once you open any company on Screener, we are providing in-depth data of any company of last 10 years.
It provides a 10-year overview picture, like 10 years of balance sheets, everything at one place in a simple table. So we have all the data presented on the table, and now we just need to look at it. And that's where like it's very subjective. Everyone has their own way of looking at numbers. How we go about few things, we will just go through that.
So whenever you get a stock idea or you want to look upon a stock idea, the best way is that spend 10-15 minutes on that idea. Just look at what the ratios are. So market cap for this company is maybe 300 odd crore, still trading at 10 time PE multiple. Stock has done pretty well in last 1 year. And going below, you'll see all the quarterly results, and then let's stop here. So P&L. So on having a quick look, what I can get a feel is that this company hadn't been doing much earlier. It was just a 10-15 odd crore turnover company with no much profitability. Then they got increased to 40 odd crore. And again, the profitability was not much. But last year has been something fabulous for them, wherein the turnover has doubled and the profitability has increased 3-4 times. So just having a look at the numbers, it tells me that there's not a consistent grower. There's not a business which has been earning consistently and growing consistently, but something has happened in recent times. And this we can view in the quarterly numbers also, that recently the quarterly numbers have just started changing. And perhaps that's why the stock price is moving. Coming to balance sheet, the good part is that they don't have debt on balance sheet, but there isn't much capex also. So I'm not sure how the company will grow in the coming time. So a quick look helps me think as to what I need to look into. So now when I'll be looking into the annual report, so we have provided all the other data points also. Like, so to research more, what do you want to do? You want to spend some time on the annual report of the company. So I'll read at least last 2-3 years of annual report. Was the management telling the investors what are they doing for a better performance, or is it something like a windfall for them? And similarly, the credit rating reports are very useful. When you click on it, you'll get a detailed rationale around the company. And rather than looking at the rating, many often you will get insights as to what the company has done and why this performance has changed. So the objective of an investor should be to try to connect the dots and see if this is something sustainable that is happening in the company. Similarly, let's have a look at the other name. So this company is trading at a very low valuation of 6 times PE multiple. If we come to profit and loss, what I would appreciate here is that the growth is pretty consistent. Like if you look here, 5-year CAGR growth is 30%, 3-year it is 40%. This year also. Hello. Yeah. This year also the growth is pretty high. So such kind of names will be better to research and deep dive upon, where there is a consistent performance happening in the company. Also, if you come to the balance sheet, what I would like to appreciate here is that the loans are going down. So earlier the company had almost 500 crore kind of loan in 2017, which has been coming down, and it has come down to 200 crore. So companies which are reducing loans are automatically something very positive is happening, and the earnings are real, because loan reduction तभी हो सकता है जब कोई कमाएगा. And such kind of insights will make me work more upon this company, understand what the business is. And the other important thing that one should do is go on the website, spend some time, see what the business is, what they are doing. So if you go on it, you will understand that it's a broadband company, and then you can try to reach out to your friends, speak to some of your network and understand how the company is. Are they really good? Are they bringing new things? So that is how the research happens.
The main thing I would say is like some concepts on the broader concept on how to go about from reducing this 86 to 2 or 3 good names is we like to focus on small and mid cap space. So like it is said that top 100 companies are over researched. Most often what people do is go into ITCs, Asian Paints and all the top 100 names which are known to everyone, but almost every investor is just following those companies only. The best returns have come out of places where small names became those kind of names over the years, and the best space is somewhere around 100 to 500 crores of market cap or 100 to 5,000 crores of market cap. That is a very good place to look out for companies. And like Bhaiya has a theory of like they are companies in transition or they are companies at inflection points. That is what we are looking for.
So basically in your business also, you would have seen that initial 10-15 years are a struggle for everyone, wherein you take a lot of time in building the business, building the blocks, getting the team in place. So अगर कोई company 10 crore से 100 crore करती है, it takes 10 years. But from next 100 to 200 will take just 3 or 4 years. So catching those companies at inflection point is something very important. And many often the valuations will be in your favor because the market might not have worked upon it. So like in many of these cases, which are where the valuation is cheaper, and if you believe by your work that these performances are sustainable and the company is doing things by which they can grow further, that is what is usually interesting.
Also, when he mentions about trends, he mentions about like sometimes there is a huge tailwind in some industries. There are industries which are growing, like which have to grow for at exponential pace for next 10 years or something. For example, 10 years back, one of our relatives had cancer, and like that was like he was looking out for companies which are working in this oncology space. He felt that this is a disease which is going to spread like anything, and that is where he thought of looking out companies. And any company related to oncology has done well. Like if we are able to catch these kind of trends, similarly, like EVs, India has a huge problem of pollution and those things, and India has somewhere around like 400 to 3,000 electronic buses in India, while China has 3 lakh electronic buses. So these are the kinds of differences sometimes there. And like this is where we sometimes get a idea, okay, this industry can grow at exponential pace for a very, very long time. And looking out for companies which are remotely connected to such areas is sometimes very good.
And the other thing also is that you have to collaborate the story with the numbers. Like if you have thought ki yaar trend hai, but if that company is not delivering on it, like when Pratish talked about Shilpa Medicare, so if you just have a look at the numbers, all the numbers have changed over the years. So you need to have a validation that what you're thinking is actually playing out. That company is actually growing over the years. They are able to do more. They are investing more into the business. They are focused on that part. Also, the other important thing is that the competitive intensity shouldn't be too high. There are fields which are protected areas where the players are not too many. So, for example, if you go into a steel or cement industry, there are too many players and it is too competitive. So it's not that easy to be a big winner in those areas. But areas which have some entry barriers, those are the areas and companies that one should focus on and try to remain invested for long.
So we will come back to the presentation.
One more thing on screen now.
Yeah, so like there's one more concept like we like to think about is that says that there are 4 seasons of investing. एक farmer को जैसे 2 season मिलते हैं for sowing the crop, we get 4 seasons, and those 4 seasons are 4 quarterly result seasons. So after each quarter, companies start publishing their results, and that is where we can just save this query and set alerts for them. There are already more than like 50,000 screens created by other users. And for example, this is very good one, the Bull Cartel one. It is especially created to track new quarterly results.
So basically the concept here is that what we have defined in the query is that alert us whenever there's a quarterly result which comes out, and if a company has grown more than 15% on sales and the profit growth is more than 20% year on year, then the next day we get an email alert that these are the companies which came out with results and these are the companies which have performed better on the...
All we need to do is like, in this case, I've already set the alert, so that button is not coming. But like if I open any screen, there's this option of get updates by email. So we just need to go on that screen and click on this, and it will start sending us the summary of new results which performed very well and which declared the results yesterday. And that is where we can just start reading about them, and it reduces the work also. For example, reading that 86 companies on a day is also very tough. It spreads that 86 names over a month. So each day we need to just read a couple of companies.
So this is a good place to start. Like, how do you come across ideas? How do you come across companies which are doing well? So these are some tricks that we use at our end. Uh,
So
yeah. So this is how do we use. So Screener is one platform in which you can access all the financial data. Also, what you can do is that for the companies that you are interested in, you should add it to your watch list. And next time there's any fundamental update on that company, you'll get an alert by email next day morning. So by that I'm aware, like I might be tracking more than 300-400 companies. For an average user, he might be tracking 30-40 names. So by just putting it on the watch list, you will get only fundamental updates, like if the company announces a result, if the company tells about a new development in the company. And these days companies are engaging a lot with investors. They are putting out presentations, they are doing con calls. So you're getting all those data which you can keep reading and be aware what is happening in that company.
Just a few traps to avoid, like when we are running screens, there will be few names which will look fabulous on the ratios, and they are usually the traps. They have had those ratios forever. Like for last 10 years, whenever you will see, they would have had that fabulous ratio for them. So some ways to avoid traps is to see how the company has utilized the profits over the years. The way I like to see is like I club the profit of 4-5 years and see where that money has gone. First, the company should have probably distributed it as a high amount of those earnings as dividend. But if it is not distributing the dividends, then where is that money going? Is it going into some other investments, into subsidiaries or any other things, or is it going into an expansion which is actually good for a shareholder? So how, like, there are very few companies which actually share wealth with the shareholders, and the best way to judge whether that promoter is like-minded or not is to see how they are using the profits. Where are those profits going?
So basically, see, people, it's important to avoid mistakes or get out of the mistakes as soon as possible. So from that perspective, we need to be aware of 2-3 things. A company, there are lots of people say that stock market mein nuksan ho gaya, galat company mein phas gaya, but usually what are the companies in which one loses money? Usually there will be 2-3 characteristics. The companies which go down, destroy a lot of value, are companies which employ a lot of debt. So debt is the first and the most important thing that one needs to be very careful of in life and while investing. We don't want to expose ourselves to companies which employ high amount of debt. And the other indicators that have been very helpful for us is like promoter holding. So if you're investing into a company in which the promoter holding is only 20-30%, it's but obvious that the promoter thinking will not be aligned, and he'll try to make off money in some way or the other for his personal benefit. And while if a company is there in which the promoter holding is 70%, then there's a high chance that he'll do everything to create value in that company. He will not try to short charge or do shortcuts or something or the other. So these few things, and then like Pratish mentioned, seeing where the cash flow is going. What we have seen is when people start doing well, they start diversifying. मतलब क्या करेंगे, like company will go and start a big project, big expansion, and they will windmill लगा देंगे, या फिर I've seen companies buying coal mines in some place, doing acquisitions. If you're in a company which has multiple subsidiaries, doing lots of acquisitions, it's not easy. Acquisition is very, very tough. So honestly, we want a company which is focused on what it is doing. It continues to do the same thing over the years, keeps getting better at it, and reinvesting into the business to grow it further. So that focus is important. If the entrepreneur is trying to do tens of things, I haven't seen too many examples of success. And one more thing, Pratish, come to Screener. And what we have done at Screener is, based on our experience and learnings, we have showcased all the pro and cons here. So if you see, for any company, it will show what are the positives and negatives. So it will show that here the book value, stock is trading at higher times the book value. Company hasn't delivered too much of growth. In this case, the ROE is very less. Company has other income in the earnings that you are seeing. So any of the names that you look upon, it's a good indicator that what is right or wrong happening, and it's a kind of an alert. It's a checklist that we employ. Any names that we can showcase? Yeah. So, like any of the names which have just destroyed a lot of value, there have been lots of indicators in past, like in this high debtor days. be very, very careful of companies which employ very high amount of working capital. Agar aap entrepreneur and you think from your perspective, if you have to fudge the earnings, the easiest way to fudge the earnings is inflate inventory, inflate receivables, and show high profits or sales for the near term. So wherever the companies have very high debtor days, we don't want to go, or companies which are in government sectors, money gets stuck over there. So these are the things that we highlight as positives and negatives for each of the listed companies in our algorithm. Siddharth had asked me, Ayush, do talk on how do you write the winners. So I think it's the toughest thing to do in stock market, because जब stock बढ़ जाता है, we always have the fear that this will fall off and we'll lose our money. But one thing I've realized is that there are very few companies which work in your favor. And if you cut out them, if you get out of them early, you can't create wealth. So, so it's important to remain invested in companies which are delivering fundamentally. If your company is able to deliver even 15% growth year on year, if it has products which are something niche, which is there's not too much of competitive intensity, it has a good future, give long ropes to all those companies. What we do is we keep averaging on our losers. कि वो 50 पे लिया था तो 30 आ गया.
What generally happens is people stick to their losers. They stick till it re-reaches its buy price, and usually they are quick to sell on the winners. That whenever a stock has doubled, people are just very quick to sell it, and it requires a little opposite approach, that you need to force yourself to sell the losing ones. You cannot climb a mountain carrying too many dead corpses. So once in a while you need to cut off those losses, you need to book those losses, and for winners, keep track of why these are happening and trust your winners. There are not too many great ideas, and if you have found them, just sit tight on them.
And many of the markets are very smart. What happens is that you might have identified something, but it is not playing out for quite some time. It may not play out for a year, 2 years. But when that inflection happens, markets are very smart and they will reward that stock in 3 months, 6 months, and it will be rewarded much more than what you thought. So when such things are playing out, be patient. Give time to the market to see what is happening. So these are some of the things that we do, and there's no rules or way outs. No proven formulas. We keep learning over the years. What we are saying today changes tomorrow, and we keep trying to learn and improve our process. Yeah.
So that was it from our side.
Yeah, that's and we would love to connect with any of you guys on these handles or IDs. Yeah. And now we can start the Q&A. We can end this presentation.
So thank you, Pratyush and Ayush, for that session. There were a good lot of takeaways: the PE ratio, the ROC, the growth sales, cash flows, the reinvesting of the profits in the business. It was quite informative. Now let me open the floor for Q&A. So the first question, we have Vijit Ramawat. If you have any questions for Pratyush and Ayush, please.
Hello, Ayush, Pratyush.
Hi, Vijit.
Hi. My question is how to see you with this credit rating report. Credit rating report.
How can you?
See the credit rating reports, CRISIL and all these reports.
Yeah. On the, how do we get those?
Yeah. What are the takeaways you take from the reports? How you see any report?
Yeah. So
we can open it. Maybe we'll do a screen share and we'll show you.
Yeah.
So basically on Screener, what we have done, we have provided a credit rating report for all the listed companies and even for unlisted companies. So if you want, there's a option here that you can search for any of the companies in India which are getting credit rated. So any unlisted company also you can search over here and you'll get the credit rating report. So put in RECL.
Yeah, we can read one report.
Yeah.
What are the points to see in the reports?
Yeah. So here's a company that we have been tracking for quite some time. And if you see the credit rating report, I'm not interested in all this AA or A minus. It doesn't matter to me. What matters here is just takeaways. Many often what the credit rating report tells us is,
So this text is the most important update. It provides us like what the company is doing over last few months.
So in this, like when you read about it, there are lots of qualitative inputs that you'll get to know that this company is a leader in its area. They have a long track record. Then it's a very integrated operations, and between their group companies, they are also having technicals and formulations, and that is what gives them the advantage. Similarly, over here, like they have talked about 200 international registrations for products in more than 65 countries. And what happens with most of the small and mid-sized companies is that they don't talk too much about their products and registration in their annual report. They feel that this is a secret source and we don't want to give it to our competitors. So these credit ratings are very useful for us from this perspective, that how is the business quality? Like we were invested in a company and only by reading credit rating report, we understood the risk that the credit rating report said that the business is doing well, but only 4 clients contribute 80% of the business. And in one of the years, they lost one of the client, and it was a big problem for the company. So getting to know those risks and the qualitative part, like here it is talking about R&D. Similarly, it will talk about marketing network, consistent growth. So many things they tell, and they also tell you utilization of working capital, liquidity. So getting a read of it, you get a sense कि भाई इस कंपनी में लोन ज्यादा है, कम है, बिजनेस में आगे क्या प्लान है उनका करने का, what are the key monitorables. So this is what we use for. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. One more question I have. How to track commodity prices in your screener?
Yeah.
You have one option of in your gold.
Yeah. So sometimes what happens is like it is very hard to track prices of different kind of products. So Screener has this feature where we can search product prices of anything. For example, if we want to track prices of ibuprofen over a long period, we can type in the name and it will show what is the value of exports of total ibuprofen from India.
Yeah. So how do we use this? That we use it like what happens in many of the companies. We know that this company is the only producer or one of the few producer of this product. So इससे हम ये देख ले रहे हैं इंडिया से एक्सपोर्ट कितना हो रहा है. So अगर एक्सपोर्ट कंटिन्यूअस ग्रोथ में है, and we also show the average price realization कि एक्सपोर्ट में price realization was 1500 which has improved to 2,500-3,000 and now it has fallen a bit. So we know कि अच्छा चल रहा है, मतलब there's a long tailwind for the company. And for other things like we have used, there are several basmati rice companies. We have used it for this purpose कि यहाँ पता ही नहीं चलता आपको कि what is happening in this industry. But by this, we could see the growth of the industry and also the price variation. The basmati prices of export were 50 rupees earlier. They went to 75, 80, and now they have fallen again. So by this, you can get an estimate of how the prospects will be of the company going forward.
These also provide a little more clarity on why that growth number is coming or why those margins are suddenly changing.
So a company might be doing well because the product price increased, but that's not a very good news for the long term. For short term, it is good, but not for the long term.
इसमें कैसे आइडेंटिफाई करेंगे कौन सा प्रोडक्ट की डिमांड ज्यादा है अभी, कौन से का प्राइस बढ़ा हुआ है, तो वो हाउ टू आइडेंटिफाई दिस स्क्रीन?
That is not available currently, but yeah, it is a good idea. We can work on that. We can sort the list based on the quarterly changes or something.
And there's a lot of work being happening on that on forum.valuepicker. If you go, there's a thread on which in-depth analysis is being provided कि कौन से सेक्टर्स या प्रोडक्ट्स में ग्रोथ आ रही है ऑन मंथ ऑन बेसिस या कौन से में खराब हो रहा है ऑन द एक्सपोर्ट इंपोर्ट डेटा. So from that you can get early trends. Like people have been able to catch pharma sector because in last 6 months the exports of pharma has grown massively from India. So that is how people have caught this trend.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vijay. And before moving to next question, I would like to acknowledge the presence of our national co-chair, Ms. Smita Agarwal. Smita, welcome to the SIG group. Are you there? Smita?
Yes. Hi, Sandeep. How are you?
I'm doing good, Smita. Thanks for joining the session. This is a very good informative session.
Absolutely, Sandeep. Congratulations to the team for organizing this, and thank you, Ayush and Pratyush, for being with us. I think it's very, very informative, and I hope a lot of people are getting a lot of value from this. So thank you.
Thank you for your presence and encouragement.
Thank you.
Moving to next question, we have Pranav Bhavsar. Pranav, your questions for Pratyush.
Yeah, I already messaged on the chat box, but what I wanted to share, what I wanted to know is if you are an entrepreneur, all this sounds a little bit daunting. That how am I gonna track annual reports, or how am I gonna track quarterly results? It seems to be too much of information for me. So, what would you recommend for someone who is already having a couple of investments, but now they want to get started with their own little journey about understanding what you rightly mentioned, by investing, improving their own business? So how much time should they spend? What should be things to avoid the noise and everything? If you can just share, I think it will help a lot of wire members, because typically wire members are busy with their own work. Sometimes they want to have more meaningful investments, which is why they are all in this session.
You want to go? So one of the things is to reduce the noise part. Like there's too much information and much of that is just noise. So Screener is strictly built to reduce that noise. So we can add, I will share my screen again for a moment. So we can add companies to our watch list. We can create a watch list of companies we want to follow. And once we create this watch list, it prepares a feed, something like we get on Facebook or other feeds, but it only shows the relevant things. For example, important announcements filed with the stock exchange. It removes all the clutter such as certificate loss ke announcements and many other announcements which are not actually meaningful or relevant too much. So it filters down that list to important announcements. It includes all the new annual reports, filings. It also includes insider trades. So these are sometimes very helpful when promoters are selling the stock or buying the stock themselves. It also covers the new credit rating. So basically it consolidates multiple sources, tracks data from multiple sources, and each day it will only send you you don't even need to come on the website. It will send you a summary of all the updates yesterday in a single email every morning. So using that, like this is how we track hundreds of companies. We add them to the watch list and just keep track of what is happening where. About time and those things, Bhaiya will be able to tell more.
So Pranav, if your question was also that how the investor who is running a business can benefit for himself, I think the best thing will be if he buys stocks or keep a track of those companies which are leaders in that area. So for example, somebody who is doing an engineering business might like to keep a tab on 2 or 3 of the best names in that area, because these companies tell you what is happening in the industry, what is happening in international level, how they are coping up, how they are adapting the company, and all these things can be incorporated in your business. The most important things that we have seen is the biggest wealth creation journeys have happened when a company improves the underlying quality of the business. Like to give an example, like we were invested in Ajanta Pharma a few years back, and till then it was a very generic competitive pharma company. The debtor days used to be almost 200 days. In working capital used to be super high. But then the next generation came and they transformed the company to derma products, to ophthalmic products, in which they were improving convenience. Like patient needs to take only 1 medicine instead of 3, and all those factors. And in the interim, their working capital reduced, their inventory reduced, the ROCs improved. And when you see these things happening, you can try to apply it in your business. What do I need to do to improve the cash flow generation of my business is the most important thing that an entrepreneur needs to learn if he can do. Because if you have the cash flows, then you can invest into growth. You can do so many other things. What we all struggle is just for growth, we compromise on the cash flows and get into traps. And we also get to learn, like these con calls are very useful, and people love hearing con calls of these leading companies because they have a lot of clarity. They tell you how the industry is shaping up, what are the key things to look forward to. So this is how an entrepreneur can benefit, I believe.
Another tip is like, I would say, most often, like as we have said, pursuing companies which are in our own business, that are the best area to start with. And that is how we have got most of the ideas. Most often our doctor clients have come up with good pharma companies and those things. And another is to take long bets if we are able to find some trends. That is how our dad does. Like he sees an area which is developing well. For example, in the government is spending a lot on animal vaccines and those things, and he thinks that this is an area which is which is a good long-term trend, and that is where he will take top names in it.
So I think, yeah, perfectly. So if I'm an API manufacturer, what I could do hypothetically is add, let's say, go to Screener, add Ajanta Pharma as my watch list, and just keep on tracking, you know, what is the development happening in that industry, what is the quarterly results like, so that it's a headway for me to get started, and I don't get bombarded with so many news and things. I only get relevant information.
Right.
Perfect.
You also get to know where the trend is, like you mentioned API. So Aarti Drugs or Solara or so many companies have just performed superbly well in their financial and so many other things. And now it is the second, third level API companies which are trying to capitalize on the same things. So when the leader performs, then they get to know, this is the trend which is happening. And then they will also at their end try to get better prices, try to put more capacity, try to do something in that areas which are forward looking.
No, yeah, thank you so much. Absolutely. And as an entrepreneur, it will be even more interesting to see where the leaders are going. So I can, you know, probably plan the business also. Okay, look, this is the new way of.
And also avoiding mistakes. That also entrepreneurs can learn a lot.
No, but guys, thank you for answering my question. And Screener is a wonderful tool which you are doing service to investment community and people at large. It's really commendable. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Absolutely, Pranay. I second you on that. And moving to our next question, we have from Ms. Swati Jain. When do you take decision to exit the stock, and what is your stop loss or exit strategy?
We generally don't follow the stop loss strategy, though we think it's something important to be looked upon. Like I have seen several good investors, they have this mental thing that when a stock falls 25-30%, they take a very, very serious look as to they want to continue or, okay, call it a quit. And it has worked in some of the cases very well for them. But at the same time, I've seen the best of the companies go down 30, 40, 50% for no reason whatsoever. And this is applicable to even best of Amazon, Apple, whatever you think of, the biggest winners. They have fallen 50, 60%, 70% multiple times just due to external market forces. So it's very, very hard thing to do. But yes, a few things, again, avoid companies which are getting into debt trap. So once you see the stock price falling, you need to go back and check their quarterly results, annual results, and try to connect to some people to understand, get a sense what is happening. If the interest is rising, the interest coverage is getting lower, it's a red signal, and that those kind of cases need to be avoided. Or if you come to know that some fraud has happened, something wrong has happened, then maybe it's prudent to take an exit first or in some due course, and then rethink later. Okay, if clarity emerges, then come back into it or something.
So the best stop loss is not on the price level, but on the balance sheet and performance level. The company is not performing, or when that performance is not coming out as we were thinking of, then that is where we should start exiting that company.
Sure. Next question is coming from Samit Ajmera. Samit, can you unmute and ask your question, please?
Hi, Sandeep. Thank you. Thank you for arranging such a wonderful session. Hi, Pratyush and Ayush. As a retail investor, I have recently started this investing journey, and frankly speaking, your website has been really very helpful for us. I know a lot of people who recently started with this pandemic season taking over, and they've been following, and everybody who we ask, they're like, go to Screener and check this stock, go to Screener, check this stock. So it's been really helping us. It's an amazing platform. So I just wanted to understand as to recently there has been a lot of about identifying multi-baggers, and how do you identify the multi-baggers, like 40x, 50x returns within a limited span of time. So as a retail investors, how do you, is there any set of data parameters or any data set that we should use to judge a stock or identify a stock which is of good quality that we can maybe invest in and hold them for medium to long term, and maybe over a little more extra long term to let them become multi-baggers?
First of all, Samit, I think there's nothing such as multi-baggers. Nobody knows which stock will be a multi-bagger. And if someone is saying that this will be a multi-bagger, be careful. And this is the biggest trap we all get into. What happens?
Yes. That's absolutely true. When it's in the news and when it's coming out with everybody, that is the time you should be cautious.
Yeah.
I have learned that in the past 2-3 months.
Yeah, so whenever there's a lot of buzz around a stock in media or everyone is talking about it and it has...
That's the time you exit.
You can do a quick check. If the stock is already at 30, 50, 70 P multiple and you don't know if this growth is something like, okay, there will be one-off cases where the growth is going to be really big and those P's are justified maybe, but in most of the cases it is not so. And you have missed the bus. if you're getting to know about the stock from the market, from the media, then most probably you have missed the bus and better to leave it. So
yes, that is true. I mean, if it's in the news, you've already missed the rally because that's already factored in the price.
Maybe factored or not, that's okay. But it's better to miss that bus. I feel unless you have your own set of reasons that, okay, this is my work wherein I feel that despite everything, there is something which is a very, very long-term trend and here's an excellent management and team which will capitalize on it. And then it's a different story. Like even big winners like Apple, Amazon, even after being a winner, these are things like network effect which happens into their favor. Those companies keep getting bigger and stronger with time. So unless you have that kind of an understanding, perhaps just because the stock is being touted to be a multi-bagger, don't go for it.
Also, it
okay.
is
in terms of, sorry to interrupt, but in terms of like data, wherein you have all the company's financials on your website and you have shown them quarterly analysis and the annual analysis year-on-year basis. So in those numbers and with all the PE, ROCE and all those sets, which are the most important numbers that one should look at to identify, okay, fine, these are companies who have been performing really very well, exceptionally well, and maybe these are the companies that one should stick to for wealth accumulation purpose over long-term holding?
So I would say 1, 2, 3 things. Like riding multi-baggers is very, very hard and it's very long term. For example, when I see the journey of Avanti Feeds, which Bhaiya for like last 12 years, and it has been one of the 100 baggers, but it was a very, very tough journey and it took 12 years. It is not that 100 times became in one of years. It was
yes, absolutely. When we're talking about long term, it is definitely more than 5 years.
Right, and it is very
hard. It has to be because it's for wealth accumulation. It is not like you're trading and you're just getting some long-term capital gain. It is for wealth accumulation.
Exactly. And there are periods where like you won't want to sit on that company. All your logics, everything will just say that we should exit it. It has already been a 5-bagger, 6-bagger and we should exit it. And it requires a lot of nerves to just keep sitting on it. What I think Bhaiya used to do a lot, that he used to put in lots of effort. He used to go and visit the farmers who are actually buying those seeds. So he did a lot of groundwork. He really understood that industry inside out. Not meeting just the management, attending all the AGMs. Of course, he attended all the AGMs during this period, but he actually went on the field and did a lot of groundwork, and that is where he got that conviction. Okay, still a lot of value is left in this company. Still a lot of things can happen. Lot of upside is there, which this company can go up to.
Okay, that's really commendable.
I hope your questions are answered.
I would like to just add a few things that, see, multi-baggers, they just happen. Nobody knows. And for them to write, you need to have some differential. What I mean by insight is that you need to understand that why this product or the company is working out so well and why is it better than the competitors, and that is what will give you the patience to ride it through and be correct on it. So this is what I think.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So our next question is from Sunil Daga. Sunil, can you unmute and ask your question, please?
Yeah, good afternoon, Ayush and Pratyush. I have a couple of questions. One, traditionally, a diversified portfolio kind of approach has worked well for our investors, Indian investors especially. But there is a growing feeling in the market, among the market participants, that with the uncertainty post COVID-19, many companies are not going to do that well. So do you suggest a concentrated investing approach for investors to create wealth in the markets now? Happily that we have a platform like Screener to identify and screen stocks. So do you really suggest, and is your approach in the PMS that you manage, is it a kind of a concentrated investing approach, or have a portfolio of stocks?
We are very diversified in our investing style, and we highly recommend that, because once it is the small and mid cap space, there are too many unknown variables and things do go wrong. Despite all the best of my efforts, the stocks I've been most bullish on, they don't work, and the stocks I've been least bullish on, they work out the best, many of them. So because of this part, we like to have at least 20, 25 or 30 ideas in the portfolio. And also it is that sectoral thing that you never know which sector starts doing better than the other. So we strongly recommend a diversified approach when someone is investing into the mid and small cap space. Concentrated is advisable for people who have traveled this path for over at least a cycle of bull and bear market. And they have done that kind of in-depth work, जहाँ पे उन्होंने scuttlebutt किया हो, products के बारे में, company के बारे में, and they have that specific knowledge, insight, confidence that, okay, these are the companies where I have done a lot of work and I'm very comfortable. But generally speaking, I think given the volatility, unknowns, China, US, so many factors are there that I don't feel comfortable having a very concentrated portfolio. And also that working on larger number of stocks helps you building information knowledge. You get to know about more companies, more industries, and there are actually so many good companies which are doing interesting stuff out there.
Thank you, Pratyush.
Thanks, Anil. So we will have last two more questions. One is from Anurag. Anurag, are you there? Can you unmute and ask your question, please? Anurag, are you there? Okay, Ashwin, Mr. Ashwin Porwal, can you unmute?
Hello.
Yeah, please, Ashwin.
Ayush, am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. So, Ayush, how do you find averaging as a strategy? I mean, if a stock falls by 10%, 15%, so should we average it? Should we think of exiting out of the stock? How do you find this strategy? Because there have been times wherein averaging has, literally given negative returns and.
So I think averaging without any logic, without any fundamental validation is a very, very wrong strategy to do something, because it is something like gambling that once you lose money, you keep increasing your bets, and once you will be out of your money and you can't come back. So it is something like that, and averaging, in fact, rather than averaging down, most of the people you will find successful investors are who average upwards. People who say that stock that I bought today is working out and the company is getting bigger, stronger, and I'll buy it at even double the price because my thesis is playing out and everything is going right for this company. So rather than averaging down, I won't recommend averaging down just for the sake of averaging down. Okay, in some cases, what you thought is intact. Numbers are playing out as you thought. Company is doing the things as you thought. In such cases, carefully you should average down, but be careful around that part. And also, you should control this risk by portfolio allocation. I really don't think so that a company should be beyond 7, 8, 10% of your portfolio on cost basis on unless you have extraordinary conviction or something.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Ayush. Thank you so much.
May I ask Ashwin to unmute, please? Ashwin?
Yeah. Hi, thank you, Prayush and Ayush, for your time. Just two questions. One, if you like to share any themes or sectors for next 2 years, and if you like to share your details, some details of your PMS you started last year. Yeah. Okay.
So on themes, I think definitely, I think the way India is as of now, we need a lot of focus on manufacturing maybe, because a lot of employment is needed. And there's a huge potential for India to be export hub. And this is very, very visible now with this anti-China thing that is going on. So this will be applicable across several sectors. And that is where you need to look for companies which have a good track record, which have done well in past and have that kind of export penetration and making products which are something niche or unique in their own sense. So I think this is one trend which we have already seen in chemicals and pharma play out, and perhaps this will get extended to other sectors also. We have been investing into so many companies, and we can see clearly defense or related kind of area is getting a lot of traction of late. Companies have been able to build relationship with companies like Boeing, Lockheed Martin, and they are scaling up big time. So this is another area that we can visibly see. Then there's EV space. If you can find something on the EV side, this is one big trend which has to play out in coming years. But mostly companies are in unlisted space, unfortunately. Yeah, these are some of the top of the mind things that come to our mind. Regarding PMS, I don't want to advertise on it. So it's just that it's more of a fund which is focused on the small and mid-cap space, and it is more suitable for some people with bigger corpus who want to have some allocation to this space, and they understand our work, what we are doing.
Usually we recommend everyone to do their own investing, and it works the best.
Because you can build your knowledge also, and all those benefits are also there. Yeah.
So what is the time horizon and minimum capital size or what ticket size? Minimum time?
For any PMS, the minimum capital size is 50 lakh, minimum corpus that is required to be invested. And time horizon has to be, at least 3 to 5 years has to be there for any investing in equities, I believe. Until unless like algos and all those new things are there, but I think to make the idea for wealth creation has to be at least 3 to 5 year patience has to be there despite the ups and downs.
Okay, thank you.
And if it works out, people put in more money and try to increase the corpus when it starts going in their favor.
Thanks, Ashwin. And I think we will have one last question from Ratnesh. Ratnesh, can you ask your question, please?
Good afternoon, Ayush and Pratyush. Actually, as you said that we should not keep the stop loss till the 20-30%. So what happen? What do you do or what you suggest when the markets in so much panic? So many stocks fall more than 30-40% good stock, and some event happen just like the GMM Federal happen or HL OFS comes. So stock fall more than 30%. But there is some bad news which people knows after the event happened. Just like the DHFL, if we take the long back example, it was a very good stock. The RJ was holding that, and then suddenly in one day it fall 50%. So what will you suggest if this happen in any stock which we are holding? And the second question which will like to club in this, suppose any stock turn out in the profit, just like the Tanla, it has turnaround story, Lincoln Pharma is turnaround story, and the Star is turnaround story. So will you suggest that we should add this stock in the 1 quarter, or we should wait for the next 1 quarter also?
There are multiple questions in this. Yeah. So I think around the falls, like Warren Buffett has said, if you can't digest a 30, 40, 50% fall with no reason, then markets are not suited for the people, because it happens. One news of India, China, US, China creates panic in the market, and even if your company is doing everything right, the stock price can fall. So differentiating if this is an external factor, internal factor related to company, that is what is more important than just the price action. So in the case of DHFL, after the fall, you could sense lots of articles about investigation, EOW, this, that. And what I've seen in companies with debt, with siphoning and all those allegations, those cases are better to just get out even after 50-70% kind of fall. And it has happened to me. I've lost money in some of those kind of names in which the stock has just collapsed 70-80%, and then I realize, oh, what is happening here? And I have to pull the trigger and exit. But for companies which are leaders in their area, which have niche, if they fall 30-40% and you can't figure out if there's something substantially wrong or something, those are more of opportunities, I believe, if your underlying thesis is right and you believe in the story continuing. You want to add something?
And second part, what was the second part?
My second part was that we should enter once the company turn around in the first quarter, just like Tanla has given the turnaround story, Lincoln Pharma has this time given the turnaround story, Stride Pharma has given the turnaround story. So we should enter in the first quarter, or we should wait for the second quarter also?
See, markets are very fast. ये जितने भी आपने नाम लिए सब एक क्वार्टर पे इतने ज़्यादा बढ़ जाते हैं कि you can't even wait for the second quarter to play out and things to happen. So there are two strategies. One is कि once you see those kind of changes happening in the numbers that we talked about, screener पे आप जाके quarterly results track करके. So these are ways to get your foot in the door. These are ways by which you can catch the companies which are posting good numbers early. And by putting your foot in the door, you try to deep dive and try to understand if these changes are sustainable and these are going to become a trend for the longer term. So that is a continuous validation. See, price and company fundamental are two different things. Price can be something you can't always say कि price बढ़ गया तो ये सही है. That's not true. So you have to keep validating your hypothesis. This is what you thought, and is the company actually delivering on those lines and getting better with time? So in all those cases, you can continue to buy more if the valuations are okay and the story is playing out.
And also, like avoiding popular names is something like that is also where again small and mid cap space is wonderful. Like going after the names which are not known to everyone,
but they are performing.
Yeah, they are performing. Those are the they are the best ones. मतलब वहाँ पे उतना price action भी उतनी जल्दी नहीं होता कई बार.
If you are getting into names and price action, but there's a lot of buzz in the market or something, it's not a very good thing to have.
So, Pratyush, is it okay if we have one last question from Priya? Priya, can you unmute and ask your question, please?
Yes, sir. Sir, I was asking, like, we know that company is fundamentally strong. So how we will decide that what's the right time to enter the stock according to price level?
Like one should start, one should at least buy a token as soon as you like the stock. Like that is what Bhaiya says, that is the only when your actual research will begin. Once you buy a stock, then it is then you have your skin in the game, and then you start researching more about the company. And like that buying process is also spread over the months and maybe years sometimes. So you can start with a very small allocation and start increasing or decreasing your position as you get more or less information.
Like Pratyush said, our dad, he loves working on new ideas, and if he'll get a good idea, then first thing he'll do is immediately buy a token quantity. Because of that, you get a commitment bias and you start working on that idea, and also you get to learn about that company as you travel the path. As you remain invested for 2-3 quarters a year, you get to know much more about the company than from outside. So we believe it's like Pratyush said, if you find something interesting, buy some at that time. Don't try to time too much. And as you get more comfort, then you can build your strategies around it or try to capitalize on it.
Thank you, Pratyush and Ayush, for this wonderful, informative session. You guys are really helping us. A lot of investors, in fact, through Screener. In fact, I also start following Screener since last 2-3 years, and it is very informative and it is very helpful to keep track of, like, when you are especially investing in around 20 to 25 companies, it's very difficult to keep track, but with Screener, it's very helpful. Thank you so much for such a knowledgeable session. And before we conclude, may I request Sunil Daga to give the vote of thanks, please. Sunil?
Yeah, Ayush and Pratyush, this is by far one of the most insightful sessions we have had on VIA Investors Connect. And we feel immensely privileged to hear directly from the creators of arguably one of the most reliable and user-friendly platforms for doing fundamental research. You have been patient enough to taking and answering all the queries from the members, and on behalf of the members of VIA Investors Connect and SIG, I thank both of you for taking your valuable time and sharing your thoughts as to how to screen stocks and identify the multi-baggers, and most importantly, how to avoid getting into the trap. We are hopeful of hearing more from you in the months to come, because obviously one hour is just injustice to you as well as us. And we wish you all the very best for all your future endeavors. Thank you very much.
So, Pratyush, we have a message from one of the members that please list Screener on stock exchange. So, VIA SIG Group will be the first one to have a private list. With that, and can you everyone like have a unmute your video and have a quick picture with Ayush?
Sure.
Samit, everyone, Manish, Mayank, Sheetal, Dhruv, Siddharth is already there. Priya, Ratnesh. Can you switch on the camera, please? 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you and good day. Stay invested. And we will be troubling you, Pratyush and Ayush. We will be connecting you.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hmm.